Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy Carson Fox from Fox on West Virginia Mountaineer Sports. The first of two videos that I'll be dropping this week after not having one this past week. So I had this thought throughout the week, but I just didn't know necessarily when to drop it. I think Monday or Tuesday might have been the best time to bring it out because of the heat and emotion and feeling from that TCU victory. But I'll release it now in follow-up after the sixth week of the college football season. Wow, I can't believe it. We're almost halfway there, already done halfway with the regular season of college football. But what I'll say now, with the Mountaineers sitting 4-1, fresh coming off a bye, is that it has its rally cry. And you're like, Carson, what are you talking about? What do you mean West Virginia has a rally cry? And if you're watching any of these cinematic videos on Twitter or where else after all of these wins, you keep hearing it. You've heard it from the players, you've heard it from the coaches, you've heard it from some of the guest speakers at training camp this past summer, and it's that West Virginia was picked 14th. 14 is the number you keep hearing, is that West Virginia is using what I said was the theme of the whole summer. It was a summer of just like media hate against the Mountaineers for whatever reason, not disbelief in this program and wanting, and expecting them to lose maybe 4 of its first 5 games, fire its head coach by October 1st, and you're going through with a football program what happened with the basketball program over the summer, and so many players are hitting the transfer portal, and you're trying to rebuild from scratch. So, thankfully, here's what I will say is West Virginia always plays better as an underdog than as a favorite. Just think of the history of the last 20, 30, 40 years, and West Virginia, when as a favorite, is not as good as a Georgia, as an Alabama, as a USC, as a Miami, as you name your program over the last 30 years, that when they're counted on as the favorite, they are a better Goliath than they are as a David. West Virginia will always be that team with a chip on its shoulder, given the way that it's recruit, its positioning in the country, that it does not have a national championship after 130 years of college football history, that West Virginia is really America's underdog, and its fan base too feeling slighted in that regard by the way that it's misidentified by the media and this, that, and the other thing. Now, why I want to post this video now and not just disregard it and pass it off is how effective will this be, this 14th rally cry, now that West Virginia is sitting in second place in the Big 12 standings. I know that West Virginia is only through 5 games. There's more than half the season left to play, but we're staring down mid-October of a season that ends at the end of November. So there's really, in calendar times, about 6 weeks left to play for West Virginia of this regular college football season. And if you look at the schedule from here on out, given that West Virginia avoids Kansas, avoids Texas, avoids Kansas State, and avoids Iowa State, who, despite its records, West Virginia never plays well in Ames, Iowa, that West Virginia has an opportunity here, if you just look at it on paper, that everything's out in front of them from here on out. That is for theirs for the taking. Now, I think that Oklahoma and Texas proved this past Saturday that they are the class of the conference, and they have the talent, the coaching, the wherewithal, especially if they can stay healthy, the depth to get back to the Big 12 conference game, play for a second time, and play in exactly what would be for Brett Yormark and the conference a nightmarish situation. These two teams that are leaving for what they perceive as greener pastures in the SEC in spite of the Big 12 in their last season before they leave, clashing against each other for a spot potentially in the college football playoff, and or at least a conference title, taking that away. So West Virginia really cannot get ahead of themselves, taking this game in and game out, and that's why I think that this rally cry and this inspiration that it's really going to be on the coaching staff to implement and manufacture. It's going to be on the players to take this us against the world mentality, believe it, use it as motivation, and then not let up, not take off the gas pedal. And because I think there's still much, as Neil Brown said in his press conference last week, West Virginia's best football, he believes, is ahead of them. They still have a lot to work out on the offensive side of the ball with these two quarterbacks that they're trying to figure out who gives you the best chance to win. A running back who has all the skill, all the talent in the world to be one of the conference's best, and then a wide receiving core that's trying to figure itself out with upperclassmen, leaders, one definite NFL player on its offensive line in Zach Frazier, maybe 2 or 3 with Wyatt Milam, also with Doug Nestor. There's really the sky is the limit, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that West Virginia. And how many times does it seem like this plays out, that West Virginia's best seasons are when you least expect them? Like at least in 2005, 2011 was capped off with an awesome Orange Bowl victory. Fiesta Bowl was a down. Even though you win the Fiesta Bowl, in 2008 you don't get to the national championship game. 2018 had expectations, didn't come up on them. 2016, you didn't really know what to expect in the second year of Skylar Howard, and you go out there and win 10 games but don't win any sort of big one or your bowl game in that year. So it takes a year like this year where everything just falls right from a scheduling perspective, a down year for the Big 12 Conference, and hopefully, you have all the defense, the special teams, all those extra pieces there that can make for an awesome pie, and West Virginia can come up with an awesome season. So I hope that West Virginia can take this rally cry, take this momentum from trying to prove everybody wrong, and use that, bottle that up into some Michael Secret stuff, and that's what they use as their Excalibur, as their long claw, something out there to go pierce the hearts of the other teams in this Big 12 conference. Is that they're counted out. It's an us against the world kind of mentality. No one, even the media in our own area, believe in us, think anything of us, so that we're just going to put it all on ourselves. We're going to play for each other. We're going to play hard. We're going to have a team first, not a me first mentality that some of the other players through the last 4 seasons have had. And we're going to go out there and we're going to put it all on the line week in and week out. So that's what I had to say for this video. And let's see what happens on here on out for the Mountaineers. So I'll have a second video coming up for you about how West Virginia is going up against its old head coach in Dana Holgorsen. And then we'll come back later this week and I'll preview the matchup between the Cougars and the Mountaineers. So let's go. Hail West Virginia.